Finally, it looks like Basic Fun is ready to step into the ring and layeth the smacketh down on the home arcade community. It's been a few months since we first heard that this company was getting into the home arcade business, but thanks to this article from the Toy Book, we finally get a little bit of a peek into the future. And it looks like they knew they had to start things off with something different and new, and luckily they did, because they're giving us a WWE WrestleFest cabinet right off the bat. Not only is this a totally new cabinet that the likes of Arcade1Up has never released before, but WrestleFest itself, the game, has never received any kind of release outside of the arcades. Apparently there was data leaked saying that a port of the game would be released on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, but that never came to pass. So yeah, I think this is a pretty cool first move. A new cabinet with a game that's never made it outside of the arcades. Hopefully this is a good sign for where this company is hoping to go. I think having unreleased games on these cabinets, or at least games that don't have an official release, will definitely add value to them. In my opinion, that was one of the big appeals of the Arcade1Up Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet they released. I mean, sure, we ended up getting the MVC Fighting Collection a few years later, but nobody was really expecting that. For a while there, the Arcade1Up cabinet was the only official way to play these games. And speaking of Arcade1Up, WrestleFest wasn't the only cabinet that Basic Fun announced. We're also going to be getting from them a new Centipede cabinet as well as a countercade for Tempest. It will be interesting to see just how different or similar these products are from these two different companies, but until we can actually see somebody playing it, we're just going to have to speculate. Now I want to talk a little bit about some of the finer details about how these cabinets are going to be released. Like Arcade1Up, some of these cabinets are going to have variants out there that will have different artwork and bonus content depending on the retailer you buy it from. This could be a bit of a double-edged sword though, because what if you see two versions of a game on Walmart and Best Buy? The Walmart version has the artwork you like, but the Best Buy version has more games. Then you're going to have to make that hard decision, because unless you're willing to just buy both of them, you're going to have to choose. Here's a strange choice though. Apparently some of these cabinets are going to be dedicated to a single game. Even the Arcade1Up Ninja Turtles cabinets had 2 games on them. I have no clue if selling a cab with a single game on it will work for them or not, but if that's the route they're going, the game better be a good one. Now, I've thrown the idea out there before that some of these home arcade companies should try releasing newer games or more recent games that have that retro arcade feel, but Basic Fun seems more like a nostalgia-based company anyway, so I doubt they'll go with that. What I'm really wondering though is how much are they going to charge for a cabinet that's only got 1 game on it? That's what I want to talk about next, the prices. Because we all remember when Arcade1Ups were just $200 to $300, but it wasn't long before those prices slowly started to inch their way up, and before long, we had a $750 X-Men cab. For the record, I didn't pay that. I got mine for $500, though I did see it drop down all the way to $400 during the holidays, so I kicked myself real hard after that one. So the price range that Basic Fun gave us for their home arcade cabinets ranges from $180 up to $600. I think considering that each of these cabinets is going to be receiving size variants, so you'll get the 3/4 scale, a countercade, and maybe a deluxe version, who knows what all they're going to release, but when you really think about how many different versions of these we're going to get, this is an acceptable price range. That said, I really want to see what they're going to charge for these specific products and what the final versions are going to be like. They've also mentioned that Wi-Fi will not be available on this initial set of cabinets, though we don't know if it's going to be through some kind of an update later that they'll be able to just add it to the products they've already released, or if you'll have to upgrade and get a new version of that cabinet if you want to play online. Now personally, I don't really care whether these cabinets have Wi-Fi or not. But there are some people out there who, if these cabinets don't have the Wi-Fi, they're going to pass on it entirely. Having said that, I really don't want to see another Arcade1Up Ninja Turtle situation pop up again, because if you'll remember, they released the first cabinet with 1 set of artwork, no lit marquee, and no online play. Then, just a few months later, we got an entirely different looking Ninja Turtles cabinet with the same 2 games, but it had a light up marquee and working Wi-Fi. A lot of people weren't happy with the company for releasing a brand new, shinier version of the cabinet they had just bought just a few months after its release. So if people have already kind of gotten it in their head that if they just hold out a while longer, that a better version of the product you're releasing will drop, then they may not buy that first wave. Maybe don't hype up WrestleFest if you think there's going to be a second version or third version of that cabinet with more features on it to come in the future, and hope people will just be willing to buy the same thing 2 or 3 times. I think some people are willing to double dip for video games, like I did with the MVC2 cabinet and the Marvel vs. collection, but I don't think people are as willing to buy something that big more than once. In the end, I'm just glad to see another company getting into the home arcade space, because Arcade 1UP just isn't doing what they used to do that got so many people excited. The days of wondering if Arcade 1UP and Nintendo could possibly work together to give us a Donkey Kong cabinet have long since ended. They're taking the company in a different direction, where it looks like they're trying to siphon some attention from pop culture phenomena like Hello Kitty. By the way, they still haven't officially announced the Hello Kitty collab yet, and that was leaked how many months ago? But what do you guys think? How do you feel about WrestleFest being one of the first cabinets released by Basic Fun? Is there any specific feature or game that you're hoping to see from them that Arcade 1UP never could give us? Thanks for watching this video, I really appreciate it. If you want to support my channel, then hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Now, I'm gonna go kick myself again for missing out on getting my X-Men cabinet for only $400. It's like the saying goes, good holiday sales come to those who wait.